Next on the agenda, I have a tap that dribbles if it isn't in just the right place.
Buckle up for safety as I give you a day in the life of online. No, not online. I'm actually there. Facilities maintenance.
First thing I do before doing anything like this is I shut it off from underneath, both hot and cold, which I have done, and I put the plug in. Feel free to comment below as to why you might think I would put the stopper in, since I'm not filling the sink up with water. Most of them are fairly similar. It's going to be a little thing like that you pop out to access an Allen key in here, and this one's really grubby, so this probably has not been off in a while. That's a little Allen key that'll take the lever itself off. Don't lose your small parts. And while it might look like access is limited in this position, don't forget, you can lift that up, you can turn that to the side, and you can get much easier access that way. Now, see the way water is leaking past that like that? That is a good indication that there has been some wear going on as well. So what we've got in here at the base of this shaft is a little ball, and it seats in a little cup with a little washer over top of it. And so to access this, you can see the notches in here. This just threads on, so we're gonna undo this now. Once you break that free, it usually just comes off easy peasy, lemon squeezy, just like that. Now this, I might need to grab that with a plier and pull up on that, so I can use the same one that I used. Yeah, it's in there pretty tight. These little lockjaw pliers might just be the handiest tool I've got, because they do so many things. So you see down in here, got a couple little rubber washers. One of them represents the hot side, one represents the cold side, one is mix. And this little contraption here, which looks like the end of an arm off a Dalek. A little bit of wear on this, a little bit of wear on the rubber seals, and pretty soon we have a leaking tap. And the nice thing about repairing these is once you figure out what you need insofar as part numbers and all of that, you can usually just buy a whole kit like this. This was probably around $15. That's the nice thing about certain faucets. These are made by Delta. Moens are the same. American Standard, the same. Is they're serviceable. They're not a one and done. You can replace the parts in them. If I look at the parts that came in the kit, you see how I've got a couple little springs here and a couple little rubber seals. So that tells me that I'm probably going to find some springs down here underneath these seals, and I don't know if you can see them on camera, but I can see them from here. So I'm going to pick these out, but it's worth paying attention to the orientation of things. As you can see, the spring has a slight taper to it. So if I take that out of there, the wide part goes to the bottom, and this little guy fits over top just like that. And so that is how I'm going to put the new ones in. Those are now seated, and yeah, if you're working through water like that, you will just have to seat them blindly, but you'll feel when they engage, you'll feel that they go in properly. Now for next steps, if you don't do what I did and pay attention to how things come apart, you will know which way to put this back in. Unfortunately, I didn't pay attention. So here's another little tip for you that may help you, because this can be confusing as to which way it went in and which way it came out, and the wear lines on the old one don't necessarily tell you what you need to know. If you take a look at this, it has a flat side to this shaft right here. And if you recall, the set screw on the faucet, you're going at it from the front. So that flat side goes to the front. And as far as this piece goes, if you've done a few of these, you know that the pointy part goes towards you because the faucet moves back like that and back and forth like that and down to kind of a point. However, there is another way to tell. It's got this little bump out here and a little keyway on the side. Right there. And so that means that this can really only go in one way.
Once it's fully seated, that is.
When it's new, it's kind of hard to get it to seat down in there. But if you get it down in there a little bit, that is a good thing, because when you put this compression ring over the top and start threading down, make sure I'm not cross-threading that. I'll wind backwards to get the threads to align and then go forward. Nope, this turned. So I'm gonna have to do this two-handed because I have to make sure that this inner part does not spin on me. Okay, I've got that in. The orientation is correct. This is tight. This is very hard to move, but that's because, one, everything's new, and two, I'm trying to move it just by grabbing it there, which is why they give you one of these. So it'll move a lot easier once I put this on. Well, with that on and tight, I can actually turn the water off and on now. And don't forget to put your little piece back in here if you haven't lost it already, because that indicates which is hot and which is cold. So that's it, really. It's good. No more dribbles. So the old parts that came out. What wears out on these things? This, not so much. These wear out. These little rubber seals, they wear out. These springs, they can lose their tension over time. But this little cup seal thing, whatever it is, you see the little spring inside there? I didn't touch that, but that's come out on its own. That's why water was leaking past there. So yeah, these things wear out, but they're replaceable, which makes this kind of a job doable. I hope you learned something. Pretty straightforward. But if you work in any kind of a facility whatsoever, like I'm in a school, you're going to be changing cartridges. Actually, this is not a cartridge. This is what they call a ball valve assembly. The little seals in there, springs, little cup seal, you saw that. That's different than a cartridge. Or will you see a cartridge? You'll see a cartridge in two-handle designed faucets. This is a single handle faucet. Your shower probably has a cartridge in it. It has the single pull out, turn. It's going to be different than this. Anyway, that's for another video. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Have a good day.